Hi there, I'm here at the LSEG Insights series event here in the beautiful city of Johannesburg, and we've just finished the first session of this wonderful series, and I must say we've had a really good, insightful panel. It's been really informative, but one of the key things which stood out was the keynote speech, which was from the one and only Nicole Borges, who is from Standard Bank, and she is the Chief Information Officer. Nicole, great to see you.
Thanks for having me, James. No, thanks for having me.
How's the event been so far? You delivered an excellent keynote speech, but how's the day been for you so far?
I think it's been awesome. I think to have industry experts collaborate and connect, it's not often that we get to do this. We're often just in the thick of things at the office working through, and we're solving very similar problems. So to be able to connect with each other outside the office and just work through the common problems, I think has been just an incredible opportunity.
Excellent. Well, it's great to see you. It's great to see everyone else. Let's go into the war for talent. You touched base on this briefly. Talk to me about the challenges and what are those the headwinds when it comes to the war for retaining and also acquiring talent, please.
James, you're right. It's an absolute headwind. But I do believe Africa is rising per se for many reasons. So one is we have an opportunity where our demographic dividend is so young. We've got such an ambitious talent pool on the continent. I think magnified or certainly augmented with AI and Gen AI and almost information at their fingertips, we really can build the cognitive ability of our talent on the continent. I guess what's hampering us is a lot around regulation. Today we're unable to have a pan-African talent pool, if I can call it as such. Labour laws, tax limit us from being able to do that. It would be brilliant to be able to employ someone from Uganda here in Joburg, bringing data engineering skills. So we've got to really work on that. We've got to partner with the regulators to see if we can make some advances in that space. Also, we've got to be quite deliberate around partnering with a number of our vendors to ensure that there is constantly local investment. So, if there's new solutions we're building or procuring, how do we partner to ensure we're investing in local talent so we can solve for that? And we're having those conversations. And lastly, I think our partnership with academia is so important. So how do we ensure that the talent that's coming out of tertiary not only comes with a qualification, but in the world that's full of volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity, how are they building those skills for the talent so they come into the market ready to dominate?
Indeed. You at the moment, I believe, have about 350 people that are underneath your wonderful realm. We're talking about bringing talent in. How do you retain talent? Because I know that's what drives you, right? So how do you retain talent? What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, I think that's a constant challenge, but something that I'm super passionate about. And really it's about giving people the opportunity and placing them in an environment where they can flourish. I think connecting the individual, their talent, with the need within the organization is so crucial, and that takes time. It's an understanding of what can the individual bring to the table, what are their strengths, how can we work with them, and where is there a demand in the organization to leverage such skills. It's that, showing constant progression, working with individuals, coaching, mentoring them, making sure that they can see career progression. And it doesn't always have to be going up, it can be horizontal, giving them exposure to new emerging tech. I think we're fortunate that we're in an industry and a time where things are constantly changing, and creating an environment where people can learn ensures that we can retain our talents.
To retain talent moving forward in their career trajectory, they need to be well versed with this digital transformation journey that we're on. During this event, the word, that dreaded word R, the regulation.
Yes.
Is regulation really hindering your digital transformation journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's certainly slowing us down, and we're working very deliberately to see how we can remove those barriers to entry. I think regulation is stifling our ability to adopt this emerging tech. And there's things that we can do. At Standard Bank, we've got some great initiatives. I think we're making some incredible traction around cloud, for example, approval across the continent. And that's been deliberate. We formed a cross-functional team, someone with technical expertise as to what cloud is, partnering that with someone who's got local context as to what does the regulator in that country expect and need, and having that conversation as a collective with the regulator has accelerated these conversations and improved that. I think that, together with making sure our partners and the hyperscalers are having similar conversations with the regulators, is so important, so that they can get a sense of technically what does it mean for them, and ensuring that they're also demonstrating some investment into the country and into the continent. Of course, geopolitical environments means we need to be quite deliberate around the partners we're selecting and how we're entering the respective markets we operate in.
Indeed, and very lastly, you touch base on one of the things which keep you up at night, and it's that word cybersecurity. How are you keeping up with the pace of cybersecurity and obviously these attacks? I mean, because that must be at the forefront of your mind always. And you mentioned during your keynote speech that was literally at the forefront of what kept you up. So divulge a little bit more about what you're doing and how you're keeping abreast with this challenge.
Yeah, it's such a difficult situation. I think the pace at which technology is evolving, unfortunately that's the pace at which cyber attacks are evolving. I think we're fortunate that we've got an incredible team of specialists that's comprised of individuals within Standard Bank, but also key partners. I think in order to keep abreast, you need to have a combination of that, because there's so much that you can share across the industry. There are forums where we share insights across financial services to get a sense of what's happening in other banking areas, and we can't go this alone. We've got to go as a collective. So we're very clear on how we respond. So isolating the incident, minimizing the impact to our clients, rallying around resolution, and we've just got to get better at that. So our focus is really around how do we respond, because we're well aware we'll never be able to mitigate it completely.
Indeed. I know that you're very busy, but I've got one more question, because what would you say are other risks or challenges that you foresee for 2025 and even 2026? I mean, we've spoken about cybersecurity, there's obviously cloud adoption, we spoke about Africa rising and the need for retaining and attracting talent. What other things would you say that we haven't touched base on which you foresee could be a bit of a risk or a threat moving forward over the next 12 months?
I mean, outside of regulation, I think just digital skills. So how do we evolve the digital dexterity of our full workforce? So not just in technology, but I think as we mature the tools that come available to us in the form of AI or Gen AI, with that change management and people adoption is such a risk. I think we can purchase very sophisticated tooling and implement it, but if there isn't that level of adoption from the broader organization, it's very difficult. So it's a huge challenge we have. So for getting people to think about the tooling, that it's something that's going to augment their ability to fulfill their role as opposed to take over their job, I think that's a huge risk that we're currently facing and trying to address.
It's a very interesting industry that you're in. I don't see that role diminishing anytime soon. Nicole Borges, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next occasion.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
James.